Okay, so let's take a look at stress in terms of what really is stress. In this section I entitled it, I'm healthy. Why am I unhappy? Why am I stressed? What is the actual situation that I'm in right now, and why am I experiencing the life that I have? Right, so we think about stress very briefly, but where are stresses coming from? We have this idea that there are external stresses. That's a stress of a boss, a stress of a spouse, a friend. Those could be, if you were to take it to the craft model here, time, right, place, or environment, or object, or a thing like that. Time, place, person, and situation. So if we have all of these working, these can be the external stresses, as well as the context, the kind of place that we live, right? We live in a time of year, so you know the stresses in the middle of winter around here could be a lot of snow or very cold. That could be an external stress that could lead to some differences for you. Place, person, situation. Those are all the defined external stresses. Internal stresses would be in this domain here. Remember where we have our legs of our table, right? So again, they could be physical stresses, right? They could be mental stresses, social or motivational stresses, to, you know, kind of extend this idea, okay? So if you were to, you know, buy this, I mean, of course, these internal things, your abilities, do lead to different reactions to these things. So as an internal stress, something happened to you physically, something happening to you mentally, something happened to you socially, your ability to interact on some level, or just not feeling motivated or feeling very motivated or whatever, some kind of change. It's actually more related to a reaction to change, right? So sometimes we write change as a delta. So if we were to think about changes, how do we restore our own understanding of these things, right? So again, we have to come back to this. We have to come back to taking charge and rebalancing through activity, right? So we're going to, so we've superimposed a few models here, but basically this is a way for you to start to understand that you can start to take charge of the stress by, again, trying to do one of those functional triads. Remember how we were talking in the last module, how that functional triad can really help to rebalance you. The response to stress is an unbalancing thing. It's a reaction to change. And as we talk about in the very next section, so as soon as we come after this, the next section is talking about, is there good stress? And of course there is, because when you are, well, let's say that for there, right? But let's talk about this. Again, we got external stresses, we've got internal stresses, we got this this self-stress, right? You know, so all this model is helping to bring this up. Also, when we're trying to do those work tasks, right, or leisure tasks, or self-care tasks, right, some things could be coming up that feed into these other areas. But again, the best way to take charge of these is to start to rebalance that platform. Do another functional triad and allow yourself to get yourself back to balance and back to your best and ultimately awesome self. So take that, and we're going to explore this idea, because really this next little section is just how to reinterpret all of this stuff and as we talk about, is there good stress? So jump into the next one and we'll see you on the other side.